Well, good evening, everybody. TGIT, which again, nobody ever says because not many people are that excited for Tuesdays. However, it gives me a good chance to see a lot of familiar faces and chat with everybody for an hour or so. And happy National Bourbon Heritage Month, which is obviously something we all will be partaking in. So, yeah, clearly something that is as bourbon lovers, as we all are, or whiskey lovers, I'll say in general, it gives us a opportunity to kind of have our own month, so to speak, and be able to truly enjoy our native spirit as it is. So I know I said whiskey before, but yeah, this is specifically bourbon. So we'll leave it at that. So, and again, it's kind of a fun month for I think a lot of us to be able to generally maybe try some different things, do a lot of different stuff. And it's again, it's one of those things where you're celebrating the heritage of bourbon, what it represents, and ultimately I think what it means to you. So, I think that's the fun part of bourbon is that how we all define that and how it is that we enjoy it is completely subjective, and it is what it is. And that's the fun part about bourbon. As much as it's the same, it's different. So it gives us all the opportunity to really kind of have some fun with it. And this is a good month to do so. And with that being said, it's also, that month where we kind of all start to get excited for the things that none of us are ever going to be able to find for the most part. You'll have a few people that will have an opportunity to kind of flex on some stuff and have a good opportunity to maybe find some things at a lottery or whatever it may be. Who really knows? But it's a fun month for a lot of hope and trying to find some different things. And you just never know. So let me go back and say hi to a few people that were in here early on. Johnny Top Dog was in here right away. Good to see you, buddy. Mr. Bourbon Neophyte, I know he was probably getting back to all the school stuff, so good to see you, brother. Eric, Mr. Smoke and Firewater, good to see you, buddy. There's my buddy Marty, good to see you, Whiskey Nose. Mr. Roy R. Does Cocktails, the man in the South, good to see you, brother. Trouble himself, Mr. Girth Brooks, good to see you, brother. Hopefully things are well for you down there in the good old state of Indiana. And my favorite Schwartzes, one more than the other. I think the other one already knows who my favorite one is, but love them both equally, I guess we'll say tonight to be correct or politically correct on this. Mr. and Mrs. Schwartz, good to see you guys. What else we got? Mr. Jenkins, good to see you, buddy. Stacy, Four Leaf Whiskey, good to see you as well. It looks like you've been busy out there kind of hammering on some of the whiskeys and some festivals and things along those lines. So good to see you in here. The ball buster himself, Mr. JG, is in the house. Good to see you, bud. Sugar Kitty's slipping a little bit. Now moving down to about the 20th person to make an appearance in the chat. Usually Kitty was right there, if not number one, number two, but quickly sliding down in the polls to in that 20 to 25 range. So going to have to pick that back up there, Kitty. Mr. Fritz, good to see you, bud. What else we got? Mr. Arnold, good to see you, Wayne. Cheers, bud. Mr. Perkins, good to see you. Every time I see photos, you guys are always on vacation or traveling or something. It's always nice to see that, but slightly jealous at the same time. But good to see you, JP. Mr. Ritter, more trouble. Good evening, Mr. Ritter. Mr. Page, good to see you, bud, as always. Joey B, good to see you. Hey, Joey. What we got here? West Virginia Bourbon Guy, good to see you, brother. Glad you could tune in tonight. What else we got here? Yeah, if you guys are whatever you're maybe celebrating with tonight, we'll kind of do this a little bit tonight in some sections. We got a raffle that I am kind of working with Hard Truth on. I'm not getting anything out of the deal. It's more they've reached out to a few of us asking if we'd want to share, I guess, a link with all of the people that kind of participate within our community. And you'll see that kind of in the linked tonight in the either description or pinned in the comments. And if you click on that, and to every $20 donated to the raffle, 100% of that goes right back to Farm Aid. We'll get into this a little bit more. And then also what I'm going to do is, let's do this now. So that for anybody, I've got a bottle that is back right here. That is the bottle, that not that bottle exactly, but we'll crack that one open tonight, and we'll bust out some samples. And for anybody who wants to have an opportunity, if you've ever been to Hard Truth, you'll know as part of the tour, and we'll kind of get into some other things a little bit here. But the cool part about Hard Truth and what they're doing with that deal is they are essentially raffling or donating 100% of the proceeds that they are gotten back from everybody participating. I think only a handful of bottles went out to people, or links went out to people that will be participating in this raffle. So what they'll do is, I believe September 8th or 9th will be the end of the raffle. But for each $20 that's donated into the raffle, you'll basically get one entry. As long as you use, I think in the club name, My Bourbon Journey, that will then trigger them to know that part of my donation, or the pool that I'm working out of, people will have an opportunity to get a bottle of that. So I guess just to kind of give you guys a little idea on what exactly that is. So if you've ever been to Hard Truth and you've done the tour, you know that little small rickhouse that they've got floating in that like kind of little small lake or pond. They've had that now aging out there for years. So what they've decided to do was pull that barrel, dump it, and they're going to donate about 100 bottles out of that, which will then go to everybody within these raffles that are being used. So it's kind of interesting or cool from that standpoint, so that everybody will get a chance to probably try a rye whiskey from the world's smallest floating rickhouse. So anyway, I'll give away some samples and stuff tonight. So if there's anybody who wants to try it, I'll bust open mine and I'll send out some samples and stuff. So feel free to do that. We'll do a randomizer at the end of the evening. So if anybody wants. So Big Vic, good to see you, brother. Let's see what else we got here. So anyway, Bourbon Heritage. So it's something I think that we all, of course, look forward to. And again, leave a comment. Let me know what maybe you're kind of sipping on tonight in honor of that. I know a lot of people will use the Bourbon Heritage calendar, or the 30 bourbons in 30 days. So it's not something I guess I necessarily follow. Let me know, do you guys use that, or do you track exactly what it is that you sip on for the calendar purposes only? I don't know if people, do or not, but it's one of those things where, if nothing else, it gives you a little idea of how many different bourbons. And I think that's also, as Bourbon Heritage Month, allows you to maybe try some different things that you wouldn't normally try. Or oftentimes people will have somebody within their family set up 30 different bourbons that they try, every day throughout the month. So just different ways to kind of, change things up a little bit. We all gravitate towards a lot of the same stuff that, that we like to drink, of course, so this just gives you a little better opportunity to, try some different things. And again, whether it's cocktails or, honoring a little more of the bourbon heritage, I don't know. I think it's kind of somebody who appreciates history, just, in general. It's something that, you kind of think about that month and all of the people who've come way before us and what it is that they've tried. It's one of those things where, it's just something kind of, different and unique and all of that. So I appreciate it, and what it is that they try to do. And I believe they've been doing it since, I don't know if it's 2007. I think it was 2007. So 30 days of Fireball. Now that's not something that I'll be partaking in, but yeah, anyway, it'll be something kind of something kind of cool. So what I'll do is, Johnny, thanks. I appreciate that, bud. So you've got a couple entries in there. What I'll do at the end of the live stream is I will add or take all the names that are in here and then just throw them all in a quick randomizer, and we'll get out 3 different samples to hopefully 3 different people throughout the evening. So again, I don't know if it's going to be something that they'll ever do again. So, if it's something that you think you may want to try, we'll kind of get into it a little bit later. And I'll give you some kind of tasting notes on that just to give you a little better idea of that. So what I wanted to do was, in honor of this now being Bourbon Heritage Month and September, we all get very, very excited for a lot of the new releases, and some, may not. And I get that, but it's one of those things where oftentimes we have a difficult time getting things. But what I wanted to do was revisit a couple of things from the middle part of the year that we're kind of getting excited for. So as you can see, I've got the B524 and the B524 larceny barrel proof and the Elijah Craig barrel proof. So these are a couple things I just wanted to maybe revisit them a little bit, kind of in honor of us hopefully getting, before too much longer, the Elijah Craig barrel proof C924 and then the C924 larceny barrel proof. So they've all been, I'll say with the larceny the most, maybe continuing to gradually improve each release for the most part, give or take. Obviously the Elijah Craig barrel proof, oftentimes I think it gets a little over critiqued for what it is. I think we've been kind of spoiled at times for what it is, but still I'll say at the end of the day, for what it is you're getting for around $75, a 10, 12, 13, 14 year, bourbon, man, it's really hard to beat. I know we, again, critique the heck out of these things, but it's one of those things where, I don't know. It's something I appreciate each one for what they are. I just, again, at times I think we get a little too over critiquey of the Elijah Craig barrel proof. But anyway, that's what I'm going to sip on first, kind of in honor of the releases coming here in September. But cheers, guys. Thanks for joining tonight. Greatly appreciated. Good to see a lot of familiar faces. And I'm looking forward to, for anybody who will be at the end of the month at the Bardstown Blitz, and it'll be awesome to finally meet some of you guys, or anybody who's going to be there, I should say. It'll be a lot of fun to finally put some faces with names and all of that, be able to hang out for a couple of days. So really, really looking forward to that. So hopefully a lot of you are able to get tickets for the Mash and Journey Bardstown Blitz this year. It's going to be a fantastic time. So, all right, Kevin, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I'll get you, I'll take probably 5 minutes, add all the names and stuff at the end, and get everybody in there. The ball buster himself, you're in it to win it. Good to see you, Jay. And you're in that for the Hard Truth. So, Mr. Mays, good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you are doing very, very well. Mr. Wiley, good to see you, buddy. I'm interested in the new Hard Truth Double Oaked. I've been more interested in rye whiskeys. I've been recently instead of bourbon. Yeah, and again, it's something I think for me, again, I've been a big fan of rye now for, I'll say at least the last, 2-3 years, kind of gradually becoming even better. So, awesome. Good. I can't wait to meet you, either. It should be a lot of fun. So looking forward to that. Couple days of a lot of fun. So, all right, let's go and dive into, the Elijah Craig barrel proof batch B524. Let me know, I guess, in the comments, since we're kind of going into now some of the bourbons or releases that we're excited for in September, what are some of the ones that you're excited for, that you're more than likely going to have an opportunity to get at some point? I know like the BTAC and everything like that will be released, but again, it's something that, I almost never see anything like that. I don't know where they all go, who gets them, but as much as I would love to have some of them, I never get them. For the people who are fortunate enough to get them, that's awesome, but it's not something I get overly excited for because I know the chances of getting that is not going to be, that big of a chance. So I'm excited for it, but at the same time, I could almost care less to be honest. So for me, the Disco 12, which is going to be coming out, I think actually now we'll talk a little bit about the new release also that Bardstown has, which is called their Silver Oak, and it's got a really nice mix of some awesome aged whiskey and stuff in there too. But yeah, the Disco series from Bardstown again is always something that I think a lot of people really start to kind of look forward to, especially when they're slowly starting to kind of get some more aged, Kentucky bourbons that are in there. Again, I'm not even overly concerned sometimes when I see some of the higher aged Tennessee whiskey. I'm kind of fine with that. They seem to do a very, very good job of blending some of that stuff in as well. So I don't really mind that. And I know they're trying to add a little bit more of their own distillate, kind of as that continues to age. And I believe that's what the Disco 12 has this year. I should have pulled that up to see exactly what they are, but I remember them being maybe 10, 12, 15, and maybe like a little bit of like a 6 year or something of their own stuff. So yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there with you on that. Disco 12 and the new K-Luke Batch 3 Rye. What it is that Jonathan and his wife do are pretty amazing. That's for sure. So Marty, I'm right there with you. I haven't had a lot of them, maybe the last two K-Luke batches, and I don't know if I've ever even had their rye or not. So I don't know that much about that one. So only allocated I may have a chance. That is the new JD Coy Hill. Usually drops September, October. Yeah, I mean, that'd be kind of cool to have an opportunity to try those. I'm a big fan of what it is that Jack Daniels does. So looking forward to that one as well, William. All right, what do we got here? Henry Scott, what weekend is the Mash and Journey meetup? I'm sure y'all are sold out for the event. Yeah, we are sold out, Henry. We are doing that September 27th and 28th, I believe. So it's a Friday, September 27th, Saturday, September 28th. But should be a great time. We are officially sold out of all of those. So looking forward to that. Let's see, what do you got here? Nicholas, I saw the Yellowstone special release this year is French brandy and cognac finished, which, boy, I'll tell you, if it's a combo, that kind of sounds like it might be interesting. Even though this year is the French brandy and cognac. Okay, so two that are, I guess, slightly the same kind of. I mean, I know cognac obviously coming from the cognac region of France, and then anything else that would come from France that's not from cognac, I guess would just be their French brandy. So that'd be kind of interesting to see how those two, I guess, kind of profiles kind of matched up. That'd be kind of interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. It sounds very, very interesting. Huge fan of cognac finished bourbons and whiskeys in general. So now this is one I'm Joey. This is one I'm also pretty excited for. Is the Jack Daniel's 14. Again, I don't know, how many of them there will be. I'd say, I mean, if anybody runs into one, you get an extra, let me know. I'd say that probably applies to just about anything for the most part. If somebody runs into some things out there you see, then, yeah, definitely shoot me an email or something. And I'm always interested, obviously, for doing any kind of reviews or something like that on the channel. But yeah, definitely let me know. And I'll be interested to try the Jack Daniel's 14 as well. I mean, I know the 10 and 12 have really kind of garnered some pretty good, reviews and a pretty good reputation at this point. So I think as they kind of continue to age a little bit, it'll be fun to kind of continue to try those as well. So, yeah, or Marty, I could have said the last Friday and Saturday of September. It might have been just as easy. So, let's see. Yeah. So what do we got here? Disco 12 for sure. Day 14 is it possible? Won't see. Yeah, I mean, it is one of those things. I don't know what that's gonna, bring for everybody in terms of allocation and what the availability will be. But I think it's oh, William's saying maybe next year March. So okay, well we'll keep an eye out. That's one of these things you just never know with some of these things. So all right, what do you got here, Mr. Arnold? Got a birthday bourbon last September 9th, hoping to hit on that one again this year. Yeah, I got the email notification maybe a week or so ago for both the Old Forester, the birthday bourbon, and the LE from Four Roses. I got the unfortunately it begins with letter. So I knew right when I saw that I wasn't one of the lucky ones. So the Four Roses for me, that LE, I'd get one of those every year if I could. I mean, I'm a huge Four Roses fan. I love it, and I love that release particularly just because of what it is. I know it, they don't do very well at all in blinds, and I've had a lot of them really good LEs in blinds. They don't do well, but man, on their own, I absolutely love what those are. So, what do we got here? All right, Justin, what do you got? Looking forward to M&J Rye pick. Yeah, so we got. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to the pick, but I did get an opportunity to try the barrel that was selected, and I'll tell you what, I'm glad they ended up doing what they did. They went with something very different, unique, off profile that will be something special that I don't know if you're going to find that profile again. If you do, maybe you get lucky, but it was very, very different, unique, delicious. It really, to me, is going to be a conversation whiskey because of how different it really was. So I think anybody who will be at the Bardstown Blitz who got one of the full price tickets, you guys will automatically get a bottle of that. But I think it's going to be one of those bourbons or one of those ryes that surprise people an awful lot in a very good way. So let's see, looking forward to let's see, release really excites me this year. Maybe ECBP. Yeah, I'm always looking forward to that. And again, I don't know, and I really haven't heard many rumors on the ECBP C924 this year. So I don't know even necessarily what to expect from that. I'll be very excited, and hopefully those will be landing here very, very soon. So those are always something that I think most bourbon enthusiasts, I'll consider all of us that will be a bottle that a lot of us will be, seeking out. Again, I think it remains a great value considering what it is that you get. And some of the ages that are on that at barrel proof, it has everything going for it. And it's something I absolutely love. But let me finally take a sip. Cheers to you guys. Appreciate everybody for joining. This is just a B524. First sip of the day, of course, is going to be a little bit of heat behind it, but the B524 I thought was good. Some of those, a lot of the tried and true, bourbons, vanillas, caramels. This has always had a little bit more of that oak forwardness to it. Not quite that rickhouse oak that I love, which is slightly sweeter. A little bit of fruit on this one, and now this thing's been, obviously open for several months. And while I still think it's a great bourbon, at $75, give or take $10 either way, I don't think you can go wrong. Is it one of my favorites? No, probably not one of my favorites. But again, at the end of the day, I think what we all get for that. I mean, I can't say enough about it. I love the full, ECBP lineup in general. And again, for me, it's maybe the one that I look forward to the most each month that they're being released. And there's something about that bottle that I've always kind of gravitated towards. And the reason I say that is because this, for me, oftentimes when we're doing barrel picks, is what I use as kind of my benchmark for the quality of bourbons that I'm kind of looking for. So that is how I try to always work off of, barrel picks is kind of off of that profile. So, when I'm working off of that or tasting through bottles, this profile, and again, maybe some of the ones that have more of the sweeter oak, a little more of that kind of rickhouse effect. That's what I try to use. Has a little bit more of that heavier, more drying barrel char influence than it does more of that kind of rickhouse effect. But again, at the end of the day, it's still a beautiful whiskey, for $75. And really they've become, I'm going to say, and you guys can let me know if this is your case or not. They've become fairly available. Like just about everybody for the most part, gets them, maybe excluding, one that is, maybe super hyped up, or if we get a hold of them and now everybody really likes it and they start to go a little bit fast, that gets to be, one of the ones that get maybe a little bit more difficult to find. But anyway, all right, I'm kind of catching up a little bit. We're meeting at Four Roses September. Oh yeah, that'll be awesome. I'll be out of town that week, or I would have really given some thought to going down there. I probably would have gone the night before just to make sure that if I'm going to drive down there, that I knew I would get it. So, all right, what do you got here? I really want the limited edition Booker's Bourbon coming out. They haven't done one in a while. Oh yeah, that'll be that. That thing's going to be pretty sought after for the most part. Elijah Craig is. I would agree. I mean, I think it's a profile that you're never going to really offend anybody with it. It's something that has, it's a bourbon that just, it's hard for anybody to not enjoy that. You may like others more, but at the end of the day, the vast majority of them, we all enjoy for different reasons. And it's probably for me, it's just one of those bourbons that for me really resonates and works very well for my palate. So, let's see. No, I've not had a chance to try the new Elijah Craig toasted rye yet. So, that looks kind of like an interesting one. And I figured again at 94 proof toasted rye, man, I don't think anybody can go wrong with that. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's maybe right around that $50 price point, something along those lines, which I guess, if it remains at like 94 proof, $50 toasted rye, I don't have a problem with that. I'm fine with that. Does the Bartown Blitz rye compare to the M&J Army? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say no. It's just a different rye, Dano. It's got a unique, very complex, rich, big, bold. It's almost hard to describe exactly what that one is. So I don't know. It'd be very tough for me to say that it compares to that. It's just a completely different style of rye. It just has so much going on, and I can't wait for a lot of people to try it. So, all right, what do you got, Marty? I also feel not to get. All right. Let me try to decipher this English here. I also feel not to get ahead of you, Hawk, but the larceny, in my opinion, have gotten better. Yeah, I would agree, and that's kind of where I was going with the larceny barrel proof a little bit too. So that will be one. Again, I'm looking forward to the C924 as well on the larceny, just to see kind of where it falls. This is the B524, and this is actually another bottle that I just picked up the other day. Let me pour a little bit of that and see kind of where that one is falling back in line. But again, I think for the Elijah Craig barrel proof, man, I have no issues with that whatsoever. I mean, I'm a huge fan of that. Was really a fan of the B524 for the larceny as well. So, and again, wheated bourbons for me aren't something I necessarily gravitate towards, but I will say the Ben Holiday for me, the one we did our barrel pick of, has probably by far been one of my favorite of all time wheated bourbons. I just love that richness and that kind of complexity that it had to it. So for anybody who was part of the club and you got it and you tried it, you know exactly what I mean. Yeah, I just think they just have a lot more going on. I feel like they're getting older. That's my personal opinion, is that a lot of these weeded bourbons that are in here are now starting to get a little bit older. I think you're getting away from that high ethanol heat, and that richness and complexity and balance is really starting to round out those larceny barrel proofs. So we'll see what the C924 brings. Let's see, which one was this? This was, yeah, 125.4 proof. So again, big proof, but not a ton of alcohol on it, which is just giving me the impression a little bit of what a slightly older whiskey will start to kind of taste like. That you start to lose some of that ethanol feel to it, and that feels like it to me. Again, I don't know that for sure. And if anybody knows or has any rumors of what the ages that they're using for the larceny barrel proofs, I'd be interested. But I'm guessing that, just based on this blend, it feels like there's some older ones, especially that they're now starting to release an awful lot of, some of the older wheat whiskeys. Speaking of that, our friends over at Heaven Hill sent me this little guy the other day, and this was one that I was extremely excited about and was pleasantly surprised. Well, anyway, this is the new B in 924. Only 2 releases of their wheat whiskey, but I don't know, it's gonna be hard to really see. Yeah. Anyway, just a little sample that they sent me. Still need to do a review on that, but I'll say for what this is, I don't even know what the price was. Let's see what they say the price of that thing was. 7 to 9 years, 51% wheat, 37% corn, 12% malted barley, and MSRP $66.99. So again, I don't even think for what it is that it's bad pricing. I think their wheat whiskeys, in my opinion, again, it's minimum 50, well, I should say 51% wheat, and what did they say? 39 and 6 or something like that. Where was that again? Yeah, 51 wheat, 37 corn, 12% malted barley. So you're going to have some higher percentages of each one that should allow for them to balance out pretty well. I need to get into that one and get a review of the batch 2 from 2024 of their wheat whiskey. So looking forward to that one. So let's see, what do we got here? That Ben Holiday Weeder is great. Yeah, it really was. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic, and they really, I don't want to say shocked me, but I was pleasantly surprised. And in my opinion, once they got bottled, it felt like they got even better. So, what else we got here? Personally, I like the Larceny Barrel Proof A124 over the ECB. I mean, I guess, if you just in terms of which one you like better, I mean, obviously they're different monsters, but again, yeah, that's, if you dig one more than the other, cool. So, the Still Austin, I believe, talking with Jason, I think there's 30 of the, let me see real quick. I forget which one it is. If anybody wants the link, I'm sure I can find it, or if anybody else has it and they want to share it, feel free to do so. But I believe there's about 30 of them left. I think before the end of the night, I'll see if I can dig that up and share that with you guys. If anybody would like one of the Still Austins, fantastic bourbons, that's for sure. So, all right. So anyway, yeah. So I'm kind of digging I really like the B batch of the Larceny Barrel Proof. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, I've got to get. I didn't hear back from Jay. I'll send him something tonight, Paul. When when I'm done with this, I'll send him something. I didn't get anything, and I don't know why that's locked. Sometimes when he takes some of those and sends them over to his group, he locks them down. But I'll see what I can find for you. Sorry about that. All right, let's do this. So I've got this here. Let's crack this one open. So as you can see here, little kind of media sample that Bardstown sends out to a few people. This is called the Bardstown Silver Oak, and this is kind of how it came. So it looks like they give you a fancy little presentation, a little kind of cute box that kind of comes in, give you a kind of a nice little taster. I should say taster glass, but yeah, I thought maybe some of the percentages would be put on there. But anyway, so what this is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys finished in silver oak Cabernet barrels. So this is probably going to have some really deep richness and stuff to it. And they kind of gave you a little Bardstown Bourbon Company Copita. So that was kind of nice of them, and again, they're just sending a little a little small media sample bottle here. Obviously you can see it's probably a 350, something along those lines, which is obviously plenty to do a review of. So let's go ahead and crack that one open. This was one when I saw them release this. Thanks, Marty. Appreciate it. So yeah, if anybody wants one of those, I believe there were maybe 30 of them left, and then that was it. So, and let's see, which one is that here? Yeah, thanks, Joey. Appreciate it. So yeah, 25%. All right. So this was the cool part about the silver oak. And again, I'm a fan of obviously their transparency, but they're really starting to use an awful lot of older, bourbons within these blends now. So again, like Joey has here, 25% Kentucky 14-year, 23% Tennessee 12-year, 22% Kentucky 10-year, 15% Indiana 9-year, 10% Kentucky 10-year, 5%. So I mean, look at these ages. The 5% Georgia 12-year would be kind of interesting to know exactly what that distillery was. I don't know if that's the one ultimately that has now or since gone out of business. And yeah, I don't know if that's exactly where it is. But again, look at all the age or all the higher ages of that. So I'm really, really interested in that. So let me do this. I'll crack this thing open and try this with you guys. I plan on sitting down soon to do a review of this. But let's crack this one together and see what we've got. So it was like a little mini pop there. Ooh, beautiful color on it. As you can see, I know it's like aged for like 18 or 20 months or something like that. In 17 months is what it was. 17 months. It was aged in Cabernet, in silver oak Cabernet barrels. So interesting to see that. So Mr. Gunderson, good to see you, bud. What else we got here? Did I miss DMC? There he is. Good to see you, bud. Hopefully your trip to Hawaii went pretty well. So yeah, I was pretty interested to see when this kind of showed up. I was wondering what in the world that was, and then I remembered. Yeah, I was kind of selfishly hoping it was also maybe the new Disco 12 that I was looking forward to kind of getting into, but that will be kind of funny as well. So all right, let's kind of get into this and see exactly what this thing's going to give us. And then I'll also crack open, as you guys can see, the little ticker running at the bottom. If anybody wants a Hard Truth single barrel aged in the world's smallest floating rickhouse, get in on that before the end of the night. I'll get a few samples out to people. Again, I don't think they're going to do that again. Maybe they will, but I'm not exactly sure. So it's kind of a cool, different, unique thing. And it'll be cool to see what the profile of something that's kind of left exposed basically outside, all the time. The barrel's not exposed, but the little rickhouse that's sitting on a floaty is always sitting out there. So, all right, now we're kind of getting into the Bardstown Silver Oak. Let's see what we've got here. Ooh, boy, that thing is fruit forward. There's a little bit of, quite a bit of ethanol so far kind of coming off the glass. I feel like I'm going to have to let this thing sit out there a little bit. Boy, it's really, really heavy fruit. As you can imagine, that Cabernet, I mean, 17 months is a significant amount of time. And I know listening to Danny from Bardstown Bourbon Company, sounds like they had those barrels shipped to them wet in air-conditioned containers, so they weren't going to dry out. So they probably were getting into the bourbons were probably getting into these barrels, them being very, very wet. So there's probably going to be a significant impact from the cab on these bourbons. So, again, you've got big, bold ages that these bourbons, whether it's from Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, where they're all coming from, are really going to be battling that Cabernet barrel. So we'll see exactly what we get. Yeah, I'm going to say like heavy dark fruits, almost like that, like a fermenting like plum or something like that. Really nice kind of oak profile that it has to it. Again, more of that, I'll say rickhouse kind of feel to it. Nice tobacco notes. A little bit of pastry on that. Yeah, even more of those kind of like rich, like maybe a blackberry, something like that. Yeah, very, very interesting. I think as this thing kind of sits open and gets some air, I'll probably let a little bit of time go by before I kind of just jump right into that review, because I think that bottle is going to need a little bit of air time. But anyway, let's give this one a try. Cheers, guys. Thanks everybody for hanging out tonight. And cheers to National Bourbon Heritage Month. I could tell as soon as it hit my lips and my tongue, it was very velvety, very creamy, very nice texture, very rich. The interesting part is the palate felt more heavier fruits, or the nose felt more heavier fruits than the palate. The palate feels where those aged bourbons are really shining through and balancing very well with the cab, that heavy kind of fruit, note that's there. Again, maybe a little hint of black pepper. I wish the finish was maybe a little bit longer. And again, maybe all of this will develop the more I let this thing kind of sit out and just, get a little bit of air, see exactly what that does for this bourbon. But, right off the get-go, just, thinking of a lot of the bourbons and ryes and all those things that I've tried so far this year, like immediately it has this incredible velvety, creamy mouthfeel to it. Dare I say it's thick in the mouth. Nice spice to it. Again, some of the fruit that's there, I'll say, flattens it out a little bit, but there still is that remaining spice, nice oak, some pastry that's there. Kind of feels like a really nice, like if you had like a croissant that had some kind of like really rich, like fruit filling in it, it kind of feels like that a little bit. It's a very rich whiskey. I'll say that. So extremely, extremely rich. Yeah, so far I'm kind of digging it. I wish, again, like right now or so far, I wish that the finish was maybe a little bit longer than it is. It feels like it's, it's well, it's 108 proof, but if I had to guess, it almost feels like it's right around that 100 proof point. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the price on this is like I don't know if it's 139 or 169. I'd have to check. I think the 139 was the Disco 12, and I think this is 169 if I'm not mistaken. So again, once I sit down to do the review, I can kind of get into, value and, things along those lines, but again, I think for what it is ultimately that Bardstown does as a whole is absolutely fantastic. I mean, they are as transparent as anybody, and I think they're always trying to push the envelope on some different things. So, to me, it's kind of a cool thing that they do. They're pretty well known for, implementing their wine barrels, into things. I mean, they've used a lot of different, people out there, high quality wine barrels. Yeah. So I don't know. It seems kind of, so far I'm going to say I'm going to say average right now because I need more time to kind of spend with it. But it has an incredible mouthfeel, that velvety texture, great fruit notes that it has to it, good spice, good oak. I want that finish to be slightly longer on it, but we can't have everything, right? And again, at 108 proof, not a bad proof. I think it feels like it's probably drinking closer to that 102-ish kind of proof. It doesn't feel closer to 110 than it does 100. So that's my opinion, but I'll leave that thing out there and see exactly what that's going to do. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and crack open the Hard Truth, and we'll see exactly what that one's going to give us, and see if you guys should be excited for what that is. So, all right, hang on here. So as you can see, kind of comes in anything in a fancy box gotta be worth it, right? We all know what boxes do to whiskey. So let's kind of crack this thing open a little bit, give you guys an idea of there's what the presentation of that is going to look like. So if nothing else, it's going to be a conversation piece, and we'll see exactly what this one's going to be. I mean, I'm a huge fan of what it is that Hard Truth does. I mean, I think Brian and I believe Chris, that team, their passion and their attention to detail is second to none. They do an absolutely incredible job. So, and again, all of this, 100% of this goes right back to Farm Aid to help support them. They're not making a penny off of this. So every bit of the raffle and donations, again, go right to the Farm Aid. So in the pinned comment, if anybody's interested in that, just make sure in the portion where so that they know to kind of put it into I guess my pool, so to speak. They'll be drawing directly from that. But make sure you put in as far as the club or anything like that, make sure you put My Bourbon Journey, just to make sure that you're kind of getting the proper credit and you don't just get mixed into something else. So kind of cool. Slide this thing out. Let's see. I haven't even taken that thing out yet. So it's kind of a two-piecer. So it's kind of nice. No, we don't have a bunch of glue and all kinds of stuff like you used to get from the Booker's stuff. Let's move that out of the way here. We'll set this over here. We'll go back to that there. And anyway, there you got the Farm Aid. So all right, let's open this one up. We'll get a new glass. Let's move a couple of these things out of the way here and see what we've got. See what man, it's hard to believe we're already 50 minutes into this thing. So, and again, I think going back to the Bourbon Heritage Month, I know we're about ready to drink a rye whiskey now, but again, I think part of it is just being able to reflect, enjoy whatever, again, those whiskeys, may be. And yeah, it's just it's kind of a representation of the whiskey community as a whole. A lot of us like to share and try all these different things and, meet up and all of that it's just it's a fun community with a lot of great people. So, all right, let me get this a little wet there. Let's see what we've got. Let's see. Oh, nice. Very nice pop there. All right, let's see. Actually, before get this poured in there. All right, let's see what we've got here. Love the bottles, love the design, all of that kind of stuff. So there you have it. Mm, interesting. Lots of like summer fruits, it feels like. Nice cherry, strawberry, little light tobacco, kind of that rye spices there. Again, this is a fresh crack, so it's probably going to change slightly, but maybe a little bit of like almost a menthol that's on it. Nice rye spice. That's one thing I love about Hard Truth. There's an interesting with them being 94% rye, 6% malted barley. There's always this different kind of rye note that it has. And it's just, there's something about it that it feels like it's becoming very much the terroir of Hard Truth, is that it kind of has a representation of what it is that they're doing as a whole. Yeah, definitely summer fruits, getting a little bit more of that kind of menthol or spearmint. Summer fruits, again, strawberry, raspberry. Mm. All right, let's dive into this thing. I'm sure it's going to probably open up a little bit, of course. So, cheers. Yeah, I'm going to say the nose and the palate match like almost 100%. That rye that they have, it's a very like interesting. It's like a very interesting kind of rye note that it has, something very different. And again, this could have everything to do with the environment and that influence that it has, but very different, unique. Hmm. Lot of kind of tobacco feels like it's starting to kind of come out in this. Hmm. Interesting. 107, 107.5 proof. Hmm. The first whiskey from the world's smallest floating rickhouse in the world. So there you go. All right. All right, Girth, what do you got here? Scott, in 3 weeks, my son's football game is at Brown County. My wife and I are going to Hard Truth beforehand. That will make it fun. Yeah, obviously. I mean, have a great time there. It's beautiful grounds. You guys will absolutely love it. It's a fantastic place, great people, all of that. We're working on trying to get another barrel pick there in either October or November. So we're working on another one. But yeah, lots of summer fruit on this. Again, very mouth coating, oily, viscous, nice, beautiful rye spice. And it's another one to try to kind of compare it to. Marty, you're putting me on the spot, man. Um, in all fairness, it's been a little while, and my most recent representation of Hard Truth was again our spiral cut rye, which has a completely different, more chocolatey type of profile than this. This again probably has more summer fruits, maybe some cherry, a little bit of kind of maybe even a cherry pipe tobacco, a little bit of spearmint that's there. Nice spice, nice amount of oak, coats the mouth extremely well. Super nice sipping bourbon feel or rye whiskey, sorry. And it just feels like that proof at 107 whatever 107 point, yeah, 107.5 feels right on point, easy to sip. Man, it's very close. I'll say if I had to give a comparison from what I remember, it's maybe closer to what their malted rye feels like. And for me, a malted rye is fantastic. I love malted rye the most of really any ryes. This probably feels more along the lines of that than anything. So, you know, if I had to compare it, it's different. It's just it's also again very different than than any of the other ones I've had. And maybe because it's so exposed to all of those elements, in one little barrel in this little small rickhouse. Rather than tell you guys, let's go ahead and show you. So here's what it looks like right here. So there is the world's smallest floating rickhouse. So there is one barrel of what I'm sipping on right now in there. So it's kind of a cool little um a cool little floating rickhouse. And everybody always asks what in the world that is. Here's again the sweet mash grounded in truth. Again, sweet mash ryes, I mean, to me are maybe some of the best. Obviously more expensive just because of the process to everything. Gives you a little idea of maybe how it's also exposed to some of the weather there. I know with where they are in Indiana, you may get some really, really cold days, obviously where there's snow, but probably generally speaking, not a significant amount of time where things are probably, freezing over. Not that that's going to freeze anyway in those conditions, but yeah, so it always has the ability to probably stay outside in the cold and all of that. And then here's again, I showed you guys before what all of that was about, and that's exactly what you'll get if you're one of the lucky winners within that raffle. Again, it's pinned in there. Make sure you put in My Bourbon Journey in the club name, and that will get you added into my section. And again, it's for every $20 that's donated, you get one entry into that. So if you do decide to do it, good luck. Hopefully you're one of the ones. If you do win it, let me know. I'd love to maybe even share a pour. And then tonight I'll give away a few samples of that stuff. So looking forward to that as well. So yeah, I think it's just a different, unique kind of profile. Again, it's everything about Hard Truth and what they do has been very, very enjoyable. First class organization, their passion for whiskey and producing it. They've got great people there that know a lot about what they're doing. And it's really becoming, evident. I don't know if they had any idea that this was what they were going to do with this thing other than try it as something kind of different and unique. But I think it's kind of a cool idea, and it's going 100% of the donations go to Farm Aid. So to help out with all of that. So we all know if there's anybody who's going to walk out with a barrel or has the capability of walking out with a full barrel, if anybody knows Girth and has seen, he is a mammoth of a man. That is for sure. So he is what I refer to as tiny. So, and usually the bigger you are, the more nicknames you get, like Tiny. So he's tiny to me. So, anyway, so yeah, huge fan of this. Yeah, I love the mint and summer fruits, light cherry, tobacco. Just interesting, very, very enjoyable. So I think anybody who gets a bottle of that, or for those that do, you're gonna really, really enjoy it. So good talking. I wasn't talking to your wife, and you know that. So oh, the Girth. Oh, the Girth. Yes, I know that. I know that Girth. He's a good dude too, but not as good as the Gerth. But I'm just busting. You know what's. All right, so let's do this. So we are about an hour in. What do we have? We have 4 people who have all put their name in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. We got Wayne. We got JG. We got Kevin and Top Dog. Since you 4 all chipped in, I'll send you guys all a sample. I don't even need to run a randomizer. We'll just we'll make you guys automatic winners. How's that? So I'll make sure what you guys can do. If there's anybody that I probably don't have their information, I know a couple of you guys I do, but if you want to send me your information, just shoot me an email and I'll right here. Shoot me an email at mybourbonjourney01, and I'll make sure to get the sample and stuff out to you guys. So appreciate everybody for joining and everything tonight. So it was fun. So I wanted to do something obviously for Bourbon Heritage Month. I know we talked about a lot of different things and kind of what a lot of us are excited for. You know, for me, probably top of the list, ECBP C924 is a big one. I think the C924 Larceny Barrel Proof is a big one. The Disco 12, I'm really, really looking forward to. Getting into, again, a little more of the Silver Oak, the cab finished from Bardstown Bourbon Company. Love what they do. It'll be interesting to see kind of how that settles in a little bit, get a review done of that. This one, again, absolutely fantastic, different, unique, for nothing else to help, donate or whatever that may be to the Farm Aid. That part is very, I guess I'll just say, cool that they continue to do these things. For anybody who gets a bottle, I think you guys will be extremely, extremely happy with this one. So, but with that, I guess I appreciate everybody again, as always, kind of chipping in. I'll send you one as well. So I'll send out 5. No problem there. Sharing is caring, right? That's how it goes. So I'll get you 5 guys are the winners tonight. How's that? I appreciate everybody for joining tonight, and just hopefully everyone celebrates this month, tries different things. That's, to me, probably the biggest thing is if there's something that you can challenge yourself with, or try something that maybe you didn't appreciate before, go back to it, give it a try something different, a new cocktail, maybe research a little more bourbon history, whatever it may be, kind of embrace this month. I think it's more than just the name. There's a lot that kind of goes into all of that for just it being, Bourbon Heritage Month. It has a kind of a big meaning, and it's us as bourbon enthusiasts way to be able to kind of celebrate the spirit that we all enjoy and what kind of brings us all to this moment. So, enjoy the rest of the month. If you're somebody who does the 30 days of bourbon, good luck with that. And again, I think that's a fun way to do something, if you have it where somebody else, I guess I'll say, pours them for you, then that's even better. It kind of pushes or challenges the palate a little bit more. So, anyway, so, all right, Rick, last one. I'll send you one as well. So I'll send you guys all a 1 ounce sample if you're good with that. So, and we'll let you try the world's smallest barreled. What is this? World's smallest rickhouse, floating rickhouse. So kind of cool. So anyway, thanks guys. Appreciate everybody. If you can, shoot me your information just to make sure that I can get that sample and stuff off to you. More than likely, we'll get them out next week, only because I'm going to be gone for the most part the rest of the week. A little bit kind of little small vacation things as well. And also have to celebrate, I'll say this, celebrate my little buddy's birthday. I know he's not with us anymore, but I still think about him every single day. So I'm looking forward to celebrating his birthday. And if you guys can, real quick, just raise a glass for my little buddy Brewer, and would have been 16 years old this September 5th. So cheers to him, and cheers to everybody for tuning in tonight. Appreciate everybody. And for those of you who will be at the Bardstown Blitz, I will see you guys at the end of the month. Make sure you also send me your information so I can get these samples and stuff out to you guys next week. Cheers, guys. As always, remember, it's about the journey and not the destination. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We will see you guys next week. Cheers.